Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more Moonlight Pro League. We are on game number 8 of this particular series. Right now we have Ample, our Terran player, going up against Sacsri. If you haven't seen the first 7 games, I do suggest you go check them out. But if not, no problem. This should be an excellent standalone Terran versus Zerg. Both players known for being a little bit on the aggressive side. So looking forward to seeing how that's going to play out. The map is going to be Largo. This is a new map at the moment of casts in this. It is in ASL Season 12. It is in this final ladder season of 2021. So, yeah, it's a good map, I think. So far, I'm liking it. It's definitely got some things that can be very difficult to overcome, such as the positioning of the third base. But that being said, maybe we won't even get there because we got an 8 racks. It is just a single 8 racks, though, and it's a forward 8 racks, and not like a center 8 racks. There is a lot of buildable terrain in the center of this map. But he's chosen to just make it here, so he can definitely fall back into a more defensive position. Now, because Sacsri is a cross spawn, it's very likely that not much damage will be dealt with this 8 racks. Also, I should note, Depot in the main base will probably see a gas follow-up, so this will probably be an 8 racks 1-1-1. And that's just like what we call something where 1-1-1, of course, is barracks, factory, starport. So those will be your first 3 tech buildings, your first 3 production buildings. It won't be like 2 racks or a factory opener or something like that. It'll very likely be all 3, so you can get like a Wraith out, possibly a dropship, you know, get some vultures, that type of thing. Of course, I don't know for sure, but that's just kind of what it looks like here. We'll see if he throws the gas down soon. Okay, second depot coming up, so it looks like he wants to make actually a pretty heavy amount of Marines, but he is going to find out, of course, that it is cross-spawn momentarily. And that's going to be a little bit unfortunate for him because the 8 barracks is going to have such a long travel time that it's going to be a lot harder to make it work. Now, the drone saw this SCV and this Overlord saw this SCV, so I think Sacsri is going to be pretty keen to the fact that this could be an 8 racks. Now, with a lot of builds, you scout 2 SCVs, but the timings don't look exactly like that. So I think he should be a little bit on guard because of that. But no drone is actually going down to the front. Now, he does pop in with this SCV. Gonna start a bunker immediately. Okay, here we go. The drones are starting to be pulled. So it looks like we are gonna have 9 drones coming down. He's taking it very seriously right now. Let's see what that micro for Sacsri is gonna look like. This bunker is almost done. All right, loses 1 drone already, but is... Oh, no. He kills 1 Marine, but ends up allowing the bunker to finish. Now, just because the bunker is finished doesn't mean he's going to lose the hatchery. There is a real possibility here that you can just get enough lings to hold on. The drones, notice how they're sitting outside the bunker. This is not a mistake. Okay, it may feel like a mistake, it may look like a mistake, but this stops any more Marines from being made. Or getting into the bunker, basically. He would catch them with those drones. Now, gets in on top of this. You can't target a bunker, so he will kill this off. Loses a couple more drones. So at the end of the day, I think that this was slightly better for Ample. There are a lot of lings out that aren't going to be all that useful. And yeah, he lost something like 3 drones as well. Now, of course, Ample loses the Marines that were over there, so he loses like 3 or 4 Marines. He made a bunker. It looks like this SCV will get home, so that's kind of nice. He's making a bunker at home as well, and it looks like he's ready to go ahead and make that command center. So it looks like he'll get his own economy on track as quickly as possible. This SCV still kept alive. Layer is already on the way here as well. And you know what? It turned out, by the way, not to be one of those 1-1-1 openers. It did turn out to be just an expansion, just like he committed pretty heavily to those Marines with it and was late on making the wall. All that's fine. It's just like all stylistic stuff. So kind of a cool opener from Ample. I think he did a pretty good job with it, considering it was cross-spawn especially. And, okay, so who's actually ahead here? Let's take a look at the drone counts, right? We have not that many. He is droning up, and he does have the layer on the way. The layer should be pretty helpful because it looks like he's going to go into mutas. And, you know, obviously the tech here is a little bit slow. Second barracks coming up. There is the academy, and he'll be wanting to start the eBay relatively soon. But, yeah, I would definitely say that I like Ample's position a little bit more right now. This is like a very good defensive structure. Yeah, there's the eBay coming up. It looks like everything's going to be in time for him. And there's not that much mining going on as of yet for Sacsri. Ooh, he catches the SCV, so that's actually very nice. We are a little ways off of getting some scans down. It looks like Ample may want to make a few more SCVs here before those scans anyways. Just because, you know, obviously within 8 racks, you cut some SCVs and, you know, you just, your command center is so much later, so you don't have as many workers as you would like. But now Comstat's coming up. So as this barracks in, again, a very defensive formation here at the natural. Sacsri's Spire almost halfway done. Comstats are going to be finishing, so he's going to have a good idea of the timing of those mutas and be able to parry that. Scan goes down, sees it's halfway done. A couple more racks coming up. +1 has been started, and yeah, Stim just finished, so we'll be getting that range as well. So 4 racks. He's going to keep a lot of pressure on with this. Looks like a bit of a Marine move out. I don't think he can really do anything with this. It's very Marine light. He knows there's actually quite a few Lings out on the map. So if he walks too far out, a counterattack can occur. And he's not exactly sure how many Lings have been made. Right? Like, there could be more than he expects. And if you end up losing one of your first groups to Lings, that can be deadly. All right, 6 mutas being made. +1 attack on the way as well, so definitely looking to commit to the mutas for some time. Range, actually starting just a little bit later than I thought it would, but gonna go ahead, start making his turrets at this point. Definitely have to make sure that you have enough turrets here to not take massive amounts of damage. Alright, that +1, getting there. And with 4 racks, one of the things that I should mention is a lot of times you'll make less turrets than any other build when you do like a 4 racks or a 5 racks play, because you're basically counting on, if the mutas dive in, you run out with your Marines and medics and make the mutas turn around to fight your army, because otherwise you are basically threatening to kill the Zerg. Now, that being said, we have a good amount of speedlings out, so actually that's something that Ample has to be a little bit careful of as well. 2 things could occur: a counterattack, and then also such a swarm coming in and eliminating his Marines and medics. Both of those could be very deadly for Ample to deal with. So he's got to make sure he's reinforcing. I think this isn't quite enough yet. He has a good forward position, but I think he wants to get one big reinforcement before he actually heads out deeper into the map. Now Sacsri coming up to the natural with these mutas. Yeah, looks like he'll turn around for now. Quite a few Marines out. We do have that factory on the way. And look, this is kind of what I was talking about here. The muta's doing some pretty good micro. The Ling's coming in as well. Oh, I think you gotta keep diving here, Sacsri. Yeah, he's got to keep on going. Ooh, okay, I think this actually turned out to be very good for Ample. It looked for a moment like Sacsri is going to swing it and it was going to be very good for him. But he didn't quite eliminate the Marines quickly enough. And then more Marines came up, and then even a 3rd group of Marines came up and kind of protected those medics. If you end up killing all those Marines there, plus the 4 medics, that's pretty big. Terran has to wait for more medics to be made. Medics are kind of your long-term unit that you're trying to gain value with over time here, not the Marines. So anytime Zerg can kill off medics, it's a very high-quality damage that they're doing to you. All right, the muta's now going to fly in past everything. See what type of damage they can get done. Wow, really great glaives going down. +1 almost done on these, but not yet. More turrets being made. A couple starports going up. I love this building layout by Ample. My God, you can really tell when a pro gamer's playing just by how their buildings look. Beautifully done there. Let's take a look at Sacsri. So he does have this 3rd base up. He's going Hydra's Den as well as Evolution Chamber. So normally when you see that, you're going to see a pretty big mass of Lurkers. This might be something he's trying to do because he feels a little bit behind. And Okay, well, I was trying to figure out exactly where he scanned, but that was a little bit hard. It looks like he scanned here and maybe down here, maybe the main base as well. But basically, on this side of Ample, I think Sacsri, and he is still making mutas, by the way. Like, he has a lot of mutas, but I think we will see a switch into Lurkers. Yeah, Carapace and Lurker upgrade both coming right now. But he's got, like, 16 mutas or so. So it's still a pretty deadly force. But again, what I was saying there is I think we're going to see like a massive Ling Lurker come out onto the map and possibly do like a run by, like go around the army, something like that, or maybe fight the army if it comes too far out. But we'll see exactly what Sacsri's plan is here. 5th barracks coming up, vessels on the way. 2nd eBay is out. So 2-1 is being researched. Against just the +1 carapace of Zerg. It's all right. You know, it's one of those games where you're not rushing the carapace upgrades. They'll come when they come. Muta's still trying to dog this army. All right, picks off some over on the side there. Nice. Abusing some of these placements. Has a few more mutas come in too. Seen a lot of Zergs trying to utilize more than 11 mutas. 11 is a normal size group, so you can group them with the Overlord, but a lot of people have been using more than one group, sometimes up to 2 full groups of mutas. And the muta's going to fly in and start doing a bit of a counterattack. There's plenty of Marines here, so I don't think they can do all that much. And of course, when Irradiate finishes, that's going to be pretty tough. In fact, Irradiate might already be done, but not enough energy as of yet. Now, down to just 11 mutas. He is morphing a bunch of Lurkers right now, so I'm still not worried about Sacsri dying. I think he's going to continue onwards. This game is going to become pretty big. And notice he is stacking the Lurkers as well. That's going to make it very difficult for Marines to actually... First off, even when you scan or you just see it with your vessels, it's hard to tell exactly how many are there. But also you can only irradiate one at a time. So it's such a ridiculously strong move. Like, you scan that, you can tell when you scan it that there are stacked Lurkers. So he doesn't think there's just one. But yeah, he's gonna irradiate one. I mean, what else can you do? You have to wait for it to die. It's the top one that he irradiated, and that's the only choice he has. Okay, Nidus on the way. Defiler Mound coming up. And look at this, now has the Overlord over as well, so you can't do any more. But this is a lot of Lurkers, and he's not aware of exactly how many. This is a terrible attack from Ample. Oh no. Oh no. The power of the stacked Lurkers. Okay, well that was pretty devastating. He lost a lot of Marines there, loses a vessel as well. Definitely not getting the type of damage that he was looking for. Some of those defense matrix moves are like really, really strong. But in a situation like this, against that many Lurkers, you can see how it can backfire. If that's only like 2 Lurkers there stacked, he actually breaks it with that move, but instead loses a huge chunk of his army. Okay, taking a look at Sacsri's main, adding a bunch of hatcheries. So you can tell he's going to start pumping out a lot of Ling Lurker. Oh, wait, he's actually getting Hydra speed. Okay, so he is doing the switch. This is becoming more and more and more popular, where people go into Defiler, Hydra, Lurker. And that's, I mean, obviously Lurkers with Defilers have always been good together, but adding the Hydras in means that you're going to see a lot of Plagues, because Plague Marines are going to lose to the Hydras under the Swarm, and obviously you can pick off the vessels and kind of zone them out. It's a very strong composition against specifically SK Terran. You can't really engage very well with the Marine Medic Vessel against that. It's hard to get their radiates off, because Hydras actually will power down vessels very, very quickly. And yeah, you're going to see Plagues all over the place. Consume is about to finish. We have Adrenal upgrade coming as well. Obviously, he'll be using some Lings later on. And okay, so this is kind of a big thing. Where is it so I can show you? There it is. Physics lab coming up for Ample. So he is looking to get into, yeah, and see, he canceled it. Okay, so okay, he flew forward with a vessel and irradiated the Defiler. So this is what I was going to explain to you guys, is basically it's really good against Hive to go into battle cruisers. But part of the reason why this is becoming very popular is because battle cruisers are really strong right now. So people are going into Hydra, Lurker, Defiler, And basically, Hydras plus Defilers absolutely demolish BCs. Like, literally, you can't even do anything with the BCs against that. So, as soon as he saw that the Hydras were there and they weren't going to be turned into Lurkers, like he saw, for instance, probably that they had the speed upgrade, you just cancel it and you go into factories. So, we should see him get up to minimum 2 factories, maybe more than that, of just producing siege tanks here to try to hold on against this composition. And if he can kind of hold Sacsri down on that base count, that's going to be really, really good for him. Now, let's take a look. The Nidus is still okay. He's getting a macro hatchery here, is getting that ranged attack. Double drops, like against 3 base, I don't like this move very much, but you know what? He might find damage. Like, well, we're gonna see. He actually irradiates Scourge and drops into the side of the main. I actually thought he might go here. That might have been even stronger with the Evos. But comes in now, irradiates, going down, does lose some vessels, but that is a pretty strong amount of Marines and medics. Uh-oh, Plague is done. He hears some Scourge connecting with vessels there as well. Ample trying to split up his army and do what he can, but between Dark Swarm and Plague, obviously you're not going to get all that much done. Now comes over here with another drop. More Lurkers and Hydras coming up. A Dark Swarm goes down, and this is not looking very good anymore for Ample. Really trying to make something happen when there wasn't much to be made to happen. This is the thing. If someone's sitting on their 3 bases just turtling, it's like dropships aren't normally the play there because of things like this. Like, his units are right there. Okay, so you got to like outplay him by like 100 times to make that actually work. Whereas if it becomes a really big game, there's bases everywhere. Okay, well, you can lose track of things. But when you're just sitting in your bases anyways, a lot of times drops will be shut down like that. That being said, going to drop some Marines up here, see what he can get done. Ample still, I would say, with an advantage. So it's not the end of the world that he did that. We see an armory coming up for some plus attacks on siege tanks. 2 factories are up as well. I don't see tanks yet. So it looks like he's focused much more heavily for now just on staying on SK Terran. He's still getting those upgrades, of course, which are very important. Is taking a 4th base with gas, which, again, that's very important as well. He does need more gas to fuel those siege tank productions. Some Hydras coming up with some Lings. Don't think those would break through here too easily. Of course, getting what irradiates that he can. This is turning into a pretty epic game, I think. Like, we haven't gotten to the epic moments yet, but right now it doesn't feel like Ample is very close to breaking Sacsri, and I think Sacsri is getting to the point where he's going to break out pretty soon, right? Like, okay, so you see he has snuck some units up here, a hatchery on the way, holding that high ground pretty darn well. Still map control for Ample, sure, but we'll see. Like, look at this. This is the type of move you want to see from the Hydra Lurker Defiler player. Running out, throwing the Plague down. Look how hard it is to catch a Defiler, man. It's like, it's so difficult. He does end up getting that one. Some more consumes going down. The Defiler coming forward. Okay, Plague onto those vessels. This is something you really see a lot with this composition. Plague in the vessels, targeting them down with those Hydras. So he kills one. The other one very, very low. Will it get repaired? Well, how much APM do you really have? Okay, more Defilers being made. We don't have anything like an Ultralisk Cavern yet. A lot of people do go into Ultras eventually with this, but you don't actually have to. You can just stay on this unit composition for a long time. I think it depends heavily on siege tank counts. Like, this is not that many siege tanks. He hasn't focused as heavily on that as some people do. Now, moving forward towards this top right, Ample realizing that this base is incredibly important right now. You know, that's the 4th gas, so that's always something that you're worried about Zerg getting a hold of too early. It is a little bit late, so not that bad, but still. Now you can see the utilization of the Dark Swarm here. The Lurkers kind of protecting the Hydras dealing that damage as well, though. More vessels have fallen. Let's see what we have up here. A little defensive force, some siege tanks set up in a nice little line. A lot of Lings starting to come out as well. That's going to become stronger and stronger as siege tanks are being used, right? Like, Lings are a pretty decent counter against those siege tanks. Gets up here, going to throw down a Dark Swarm, so those tanks are all going to die now. Very well done. The Bioforce moving over towards this ramp once again. Looks like he's going to have just one Lurker left over there, but Lurker eggs being morphed as well. One Siege Tank did make it out of that Darkstorm just barely. Sieging up now. Okay, Defiler getting irradiated. Lurkers and Hydras still pushing forward. Let's see what the production's looking like. Okay, he is focusing a little bit more heavily on Siege Tanks now. You can see he's added a third factory. That +1 Siege Tank attack is on the way. More dropships coming in. I actually like the dropships now. You can see the bases are much more spread out at this point. Sacsri obviously has a lot more ground he has to defend, and this might be a very droppable area. So we'll see if he can get a more successful drop this time. Now, there's a Zergling under here, so his army can't stay under this Darkstorm. Oh, God. Lurkers and Lings coming in for the flank. This is not going to end well for these Terran units. He's up at 200 supply now, but not for long. The Lurkers come forward. And, of course, as they do, everything is going to get absolutely shredded. Let's take a look elsewhere as those die. 5th base coming up. Still a lot of units out in the center. Oh, he actually ran away. If Sacsri pays really close attention, he can move forward and continue to kill those. Double drop, though, going towards that top right. This is huge. If he can get that Nidus, if he can kill this Nidus off, this base is his. Oh, a huge moment here for Ample. Probably the most important point in this game thus far. Lurker's coming up the ramp. He really wants to save this hatchery. This 4th gas, so important for Sacsri. Can he hold it? Looks like he's a little bit slow. Microing elsewhere. We see this attack going into the center. That means Ample does get the kill on this hatchery. But let's see if he can gain some value over here with the push. Darkstorm goes down as well as a Plague. He's going to pop these tanks, get some very, very low at least. And, I mean, making some creep colonies. I guess he can just kind of remake the hatchery, but it's going to take a while for that to be made. Some irradiates go down on these Lurkers. Still a lot of units trapped here for Ample. I think Sacsri, if he had just dealt with this Bioforce a little bit more cleanly, he may have been able to come up here and deal with this more cleanly as well and save that base. But I think he was spending too much effort and attention here trying to break the center, which I don't feel like this has as much value right now. But he moves forward once again. And, I mean, you're going to force an unsiege. This is the nice thing about Ample's position. It's so far forward, it doesn't matter if he has to pull back. He loses a few units, but slowing Sacsri down from really getting anything done on the map. It should be noted that we do have another mineral base here. And mineral bases aren't too bad with this type of strategy. They're more useful than with most other Zerg strats against Terran, because Hydras are very mineral heavy, and obviously you're going to want a good amount of Lings later on into the game as well. You know, the Plague goes down, irradiates absolutely everywhere at all times. 4 dropships ready to go. +2 siege tank weapons coming. Looks like he's mined out in his main and natural. Let's take a look over here as well. Depleted and depleted. So the gas income at this point for Sacsri is super duper low. That means we're going to see more and more and more Lings being macroed out. And, you know, the Lings obviously aren't going to have as good upgrades, +0 melee. So that's going to be playing against 3 armor. Yeah, they're basically not going to do anything unless there's Darkstorm. So you see Ample cutting through here. This is becoming increasingly one-sided now as Sacsri is running out of gas. He really doesn't have much left. He has 4 minutes of gas left on this geyser, and that's it. Obviously, he's mining 2 at a time and 2 at a time, so he has 1.5 gas. And soon he's going to have like 3/4 of a gas, and that's it. So not looking super hot here for Sacsri. Ample just buying time, buying time, buying time. Sending more SCVs over as he's going to land this command center. Huge siege tank line. Loving that right there. Kind of defending this base as well as preventing these bases from being taken. Obviously, he should expand here as well if he's going to have that siege tank line. A lot of Lings coming out of the map as expected. That gas falling so low. It just can't really afford much else. Lings getting all over these siege tanks now. Oh, the D-Matrix comes at the very last second. Does not really connect. Lings and Lurkers coming over to this base, so he will be able to at least kill a lot of SCVs here. That's nice. Might get the command center as well. But this is not... It's like, it hurts Ample, but he's still got this base mining pretty healthy and this base mining quite healthily indeed. So it's not the end of the world for him to lose this. Whereas for Sacsri, the end of his world was kind of losing this base up here. Some Lings hitting that bottom left. A little bit problematic. It looks like 6 o'clock he's trying to take. Not going to end up working out. We have a good 11 medics here just walking through the Zerg army. Never really what you want to see. Few units did make it over to here as well. But yeah, it's starting to look a little bit like cleanup for Ample. Sacsri still has a good amount of supply, so I don't want to like say it's 100% over. But yeah, it's just the more we're seeing irradiates hit on valuable gas units, the less and less and less that they can be replaced at this point. Some good D-matrices come down on these plagued units. That bottom left did get denied. Ample is getting a little bit smaller right now. If Sacsri had one more gas base right now, I would actually say that he was winning for sure. He's actually done a great job at denying some of these other bases, but he just if he had any sort of economy following it up, yeah, it would be super doable. Oh god, I missed this. It looks like a big drop hit this main base and got the hive, got the pool. Yeah, we could be seeing GG relatively soon, but I guess Sacsri's being like efficient enough here. He's killing so many things that maybe he feels like he needs to stay in the game for now. His actual standing army is pretty scary. Good amount of Hydras. Good amount of Lurkers. He is mining a lot of minerals. Not a lot of gas, unfortunately. All right, finishes clearing this up. Let's take a look over at Ample's side. So he still has the 3 factories. Decent amount of siege tanks over here. Does get this command center up and mining now. So that's going to give him basically enough resources, I think, to fuel his army one more time for one more big push. Because that's about all he needs at this point, right? This bottom area. Like, now that he has this area, he knows that there is only, like, 3 locations that Sacsri can be looking at. Sacsri will either attack him, expand here, here, or here. And those are all basically in the same area. So it's very easy for Ample. Either concentrate your army here or concentrate attacking down here. You know, in either way, like, you're in pretty good shape. So I think this was a great job from him splitting the map like this. Now, a lot of these vessels are red. Just gotta be careful about that. A single Hydra attack is gonna bust them. Yeah, see, one falls right there immediately. All right, here we go. Comes forward, throws down the Dark Swarm. Okay, well, he gets 1 Lurker under there and throws down a Plague, so I guess so. Comes forward, but this is really the end of what he's got. GG is called, and Ample takes on Sacsri.